InvestorIdeas.com podcast.
Good afternoon and welcome to another InvestorIdeas.com podcast, following cannabis news, stocks to watch, as well as insights from thought leaders and experts. Today's podcast comes from Podcast Row at MJBizCon in Las Vegas, where I was able to talk with Andrew Glashow, Director of CLS Holdings USA Incorporated. Today I'm here with Andrew Glashow, who is a Director in CLS Holdings US. Thanks for joining me today, Andrew. How are you enjoying the MJBizCon so far?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, this is the about the fourth year that I've been here, and it's really crazy to see the growth, as well as, I would say, the professionalism of the people that are here. It's really exciting.
So you think it's stepped up a little bit over the last couple of years?
Totally stepped up from the last couple of years, and the people that are displaying products, just the level of professionalism, it's really awesome.
That's perfect to hear. So for our listeners who don't know enough about your company's story, could you just give me a little bit of background about CLS Holdings and how you became involved?
Sure. So CLS is a publicly traded company in the U.S. We've been public now for a little over 3 years, maybe close to 4 years, fully reporting public company. You know, our Qs, Ks, audited financial statements, and so on and so forth. We started out originally as a technology play, and we still have a proprietary conversion and extraction methodology, which we have patented in the U.S. as well as filed for patents in Canada, as well as the EU. From there, we will have our first operations in Las Vegas utilizing our proprietary process sometime by the second quarter of 2019. From there, we went about 2 years ago and looked at what the marketplace, where the marketplace was going, and we felt very strongly that being a vertically integrated operator was where the value was going to be. And so we looked for an acquisition, and when we say vertically integrated, that's kind of a seed-to-sale company. So we do everything here from growing cannabis to selling cannabis to our retail customers as well as wholesale customers. So we felt, again, that being in that space, vertically integrated platform, would be good for us. So we made an acquisition. We own a company here in Las Vegas called Oasis Dispensary. And Oasis is a dispensary. It's located about a mile off the Strip. It's one of the original dispensaries here in Las Vegas, opened, I believe, in 2016. And it is a medicinal as well as a recreational platform. Additionally, we have a 20,000 square foot cultivation center in North Las Vegas, which we're in the process of building out, that will have a kitchen, that will have conversion extraction, utilizing our proprietary method, as well as approximately a 18,000 square foot grow, which will two-tier, so you have about 36,000 square feet of canopy. From there, having acquired Oasis, we then looked for other states. And for us, the model is to try to find cannabis entities that are on the cusp or precipice of going from a medicinal-only marketplace to a recreational and or adult use market. And states for us that make a lot of sense are Massachusetts. Now Michigan has enacted some legislation that's favorable. So we made a strong push to enter the Massachusetts market. We have signed up 2 transactions in that marketplace, and we will be closing those sometime here. The first one probably in the next 30 to 60 days, and the other one will close shortly thereafter. Massachusetts represents for us a massive, massive marketplace, and we are aiming kind of in 2020 for that marketplace to represent $150 million plus of total revenue.
Wow. So obviously Nevada and Massachusetts are the bigger markets then that you guys are anticipating in the States so far, just because of the legislation that's gone through?
Yes, I would agree with that. And one of the things that we often look for, not only states or municipalities that are on the cusp of going from a medicinal marketplace to a recreational marketplace, we also want to enter states where there's limited licensing. And we also want to enter states where not only is there limited licensing, but the rules and regulations are clearly defined. We think that we can compete against anybody, and we look forward to competing against, all of our peers and all of our competitors. And as long as everybody has kind of a level playing field, we think that we're going to be, very successful. And we like Massachusetts as well as Nevada very, very much because it's a level playing field, the rules are clearly defined, and we intend to play by those rules.
That seems like a smart way to set up your business. Obviously, another thing that's come up with your company in particular is your guys' management team. You guys have a very diverse background as well as a very professional background. Could you talk maybe a little bit about the history of how this team came together and some of the advantages you have with the different expertise that you have on your team?
Yeah, I think that the leadership team of this company has been together now for approximately 4 years. In that leadership team, one of the differentiators, I think, is that we have invested as a management team almost $9 million into this platform. All of those monies are in the form of equity, and we are very, very committed not only to our existing shareholders, but we're also very committed to hopefully future shareholders as well to create value. And we've put our money where our mouth is. Additionally, when we go and we make these acquisitions, we look for strong leadership people at the store or at the corporate level. And what I mean by that is we've taken a look at probably over 150 potential acquisition candidates. And what sticks out to us and what is most important to us is to make sure that we have management that not only knows what they're doing today, but has the foresight and has the visibility that we share in order to grow this business immensely. And with our folks here in Nevada, we've got an outstanding management team. Our folks in Massachusetts, again, an absolutely outstanding management team. And these are teams that we know that we can back, and these are teams that we feel 100% confident that can go in and execute the business plan, as well as grow this business dramatically and enhance and reward shareholders today and into the future.
Definitely sounds like you guys have a competitive advantage in that regard. I know that management teams and just general people getting into the cannabis space, they definitely have a very mixed bag of backgrounds. So it's always good to see when people have an actual solid strategy team put together.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how critically important it is because, I'm fond of telling people that if you're an accounting firm and or you're in the business and you need an accountant, you can go and you can post online, and at the end of the day, you'll probably have 50 to 100 very qualified people to help you out. The cannabis space is brand new. And so the bench strength, i.e. people that are in the cannabis space that know how to run these operations, the bench strength is not that strong yet. It will get stronger. But remember, in this country, we really only had a legalized cannabis marketplace in a few states for really for the past 4 or 5 years. So it's very difficult for me to go ask somebody who may have 10 or 15 years experience in the cannabis space, because again, this is a brand new market. So that's why it's so critically important for us to have existing management teams on the ground that we can work with and that will grow with us. That, to me, people is probably the single most important aspect of this business.
Couldn't agree more. I'd also just like to talk a little bit, because we are in Vegas, we're at this expo. Oasis Cannabis is your dispensary here, and then you guys have the city trees set up here. What are you guys really hoping to get out of that, or what are your big expectations from the MJBizCon this year?
Yeah, so the first thing that I would say is we're highly committed to growing our City Trees brand. We introduced our City Trees brand to the marketplace effectively 6 months ago. We've taken that brand now and we have built it from zero to approximately $300,000 of sales on a monthly basis. We're in approximately 75% of all the dispensaries in the Nevada marketplace. And we really want to grow that business, and we want to really share with people what we think is a superior product on a number of levels. And that's really what we're here, is to be able to share that not only with the retail customer, but hopefully with some wholesale customers as well. Additionally, with Oasis, just like any other business, there's a lot of people here that are very interested, on the dispensary level, that are very interested. There's people here that have maybe never tried cannabis. There's a curiosity factor. And so we want to get as many people in the door as possible to not only introduce them to us at Oasis, but to introduce them to cannabis in the Las Vegas marketplace, and what's there and what's not there. And we hope that we provide a high level of service and can educate some people along the way.
Yeah, I think cannabis education is a big factor for the market right now, is trying to convince people, especially in an older age demographic, that this can be beneficial to them either medically or recreationally, and can actually improve their quality of life, and isn't as dangerous, as as people think?
I couldn't agree with that more, and it's a funny segue, but in our dispensary in Las Vegas, Oasis, we're often asked, what is our clientele like? Well, we're kind of in a neighborhood setting, so we have what I would say is a very loyal customer, repeat business, and we service those customers and we service that neighborhood as best we possibly can. So our customer ranges from a very young person to, quite frankly, to a lot of older folks. And it's not surprising if you were to come into the Oasis parking lot to see one of the vans from one of the assisted living facilities or nursing homes where you've got some older folks that are coming to get their products. Maybe they don't want the opioid alternative, and they're looking for more of a natural homeopathic alternative, and we're able to offer those. And we've got a lot of repeat customers that come in, and it's always fascinating to me to talk to some of these older people to see why they're there. And none of them would have been there unless, of course, cannabis became legal. And now cannabis is legal, so they feel comfortable coming, and that's pretty. It's an interesting little niche for us.
Yeah, I think that's something a lot of people are anticipating as cannabis gets more recognized, more legislation changes, that there's going to be the baby boomer, older generations coming into this market very heavily because now it's an option.
We're very concerned and deeply concerned with the opioid crisis in this country. And there's a lot of people that are being negatively affected by that. And we think that cannabis can be an alternative. And so that to us is very exciting. If we can wean people off some of these nasty drugs that they're being prescribed and maybe get them on a bona fide cannabis regimen, we think that we're doing some good.
And potentially save a lot of lives.
Exactly. One thing, too, that legislation and regulating cannabis does for all consumers is it allows for some proper testing so that when you go to a cannabis store, you know that what you're getting is properly labeled, properly tested, so that you can anticipate what the results should be, whether you're using it recreationally or using it for medicinal purposes. You should be able to anticipate what the effect is going to be.
With that in mind, I would like to just ask as a sort of final thought, what really are you looking for as City Trees to really separate yourself as a brand? What is the biggest factor that you consider? Is it taste? Is it smell? Is it THC content? What are the things that you think really sell to a consumer, especially in such a diversified consumer market that you have at your Oasis shops?
I think at City Trees, we're trying to offer what we think is a pure product, is a clean product, is a product that is pesticide-free, and is a product that we can build in a loyal customer base and a loyal following. Don Decatur, who is our master grower, has created a complete line of cannabis products under the City Trees brand, a line of vapes that we think, quite frankly, are second to none. And we feel very strongly that the more people that we introduce that to, the more people that try that product, not only will we get a new customer, but we are also highly confident that we'll get repeat customers as well.
So word of mouth almost as much as anything else to create your brand awareness.
And the Las Vegas marketplace is also a great place to create a brand. You've got 45 million people that come through, the airport every year. And so we hope that some of those people, they'll try our product. And as some of the barriers break down, that maybe 2, 3, 4 years from now, somebody in Maryland might remember being in Vegas and say, geez, I had the City Trees product and I really liked it. Why aren't you carrying it in this dispensary in Maryland? So, we're hopeful that at the end of the day, that's where we end up.
Well, I wish you the best of luck at the conference, and I think I'll be definitely stopping over to check out the City Trees booth that you guys have set up.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you. Once again, that was Andrew Glashow, Director of CLS Holdings USA Incorporated, trading on the OTCQB as CLSH, who is a paid news and social media client of InvestorIdeas.com, as well as an exclusive sponsor of the daily podcast this month. More info and details can be found on our disclaimer and disclosure page at InvestorIdeas.com. That's all for today's podcast. Podcast is now a certified word trademark on the blockchain through Cognate Incorporated CM certification. InvestorIdeas.com podcasts are also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and TuneIn. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of this podcast, please contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded that all investments involve risk and possible loss of investment.
Investor Ideas does not condone the use of cannabis except where permissible by law. Our site does not possess, distribute, or sell cannabis products.